And now in breaking news, scores of informal dwellers are homeless in Gauteng this morning. Johannesburg Emergency Services say 40 shacks were burnt down overnight in the province as residents battled to keep warm. Spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi says the 20 shacks were destroyed in a fire in Alexandra last night. 10 shacks were razed to the ground in Dobsonville and another 10 in Tshepisong west of Johannesburg. Robert Mulaudzi is from the City of Johannesburg's Emergency Services and he joins us now live in studio. 40 shacks gutted down last night.
Yes.
What was the cause?
Yeah, the cause is mostly paraffin stoves and also heaters which are left unattended in those 3 separate fire incidents which we have responded to.
We spoke to you about a week or so ago, talking about precautions, what people can do to try and be safe. Let's just go through those steps again. Yeah,
the most common causes of these fire incidents in the most vulnerable communities in our informal settlements will be unattended paraffin stoves, which they are using. It will be candles, and also some they're still using imbawula or brazier. And most of them, they normally go to bed with it, and most of them, they don't end up waking up in the morning. So our message to all the residents out there, not only the residents in the informal settlements, I think all the residents throughout the city. Generally, because we've got it's extremely cold out there now. All the people will be trying to warm themselves using all sorts of heating devices. The message is that we advise them not to leave those items, not leave them unattended, because right now we have got like young kids who are at home, school holidays. Yeah. They might be tempted to play around next to these heating devices.
That is such an important point that you raise, children unattended, because the parents have gone off to work and they're left alone at home in these cold weather conditions, and you think, I'll watch this. I'll watch the candle.
Exactly. Yeah. So because actually yesterday we actually had an incident in Middle and Zone 5 where a young child who was about a year old, about a year and 4 months old, actually lost their life while they were playing inside a shack. They were actually left unattended in that shack, and then. There was a fire incident. We were called. Unfortunately, we managed to save the other child. The other one, unfortunately, lost their life. So we're saying to our residents out there, we need to make sure that we look after the young ones to prevent such incidents. Of course, from our side, we have got our disaster management officials, monitoring teams in all 7 regions of the city, monitoring all our 189 informal settlements, since we know that those will be our most vulnerable communities to fire incidents when we have cold weather conditions here, so that we can be able to respond as quickly as possible.
How quick are your response times?
Yeah, right now we're happy that we managed to replace most of our vehicles, which our residents were complaining about. I mean, in the previous month, our residents were complaining about our response times on our vehicles, because our vehicles most of them are very much old. Yeah. So they were spending most of the times at the workshops rather than on the road. So we're happy that we've got those vehicles now, new vehicles on the road, which are servicing our residents. So we should be able to respond to any emergency which might occur as quickly as possible.
Perhaps use this time to say condolences to those families who've lost, especially you say that child.
The young ones, yes.
How tragic. People don't have to lose lives at a time like this. What kind of awareness programs do you have in place beforehand?
Yes, we've got a special team within the organization. We call it the Public Education Department, which on a day-to-day basis go out within our communities to educate our residents on safe use of these heating devices. We actually conduct life and fire safety educational programs in general. We visit your early childhood development centers, your daycare centers, primary schools, high schools, our communities at large. We try and make sure that also our communities, we give them some necessary skills to deal with this emergency, especially the people who are at home all the time, so that they have the necessary skills to extinguish the fire, maybe using buckets and other means which they can be able to use before us as emergency officials arrive there. If there's a medical emergency, they can at least do the basics to manage those emergencies where they are.
Let's just unpack some of those basics. You want to avoid for a fire to even occur.
Yes.
But once it has taken place, what do people do if there's a medical emergency?
Yeah, so medical emergencies.
To keep that person alive.
Yeah, medical emergencies, if that person is bleeding, they will try and stop that bleeding. So we train them on basic first aid necessary skills to make sure that that person doesn't have excessive bleeding. If that
but
person
stopping
is bleeding
from a fire is not the same as stopping ordinary bleeding.
Yes, yes, yes. If the person has sustained bends, yeah, of course you have to cool that bend down. So you have to cool it with cold water.
Yeah.
And our residents, most of them, they use wrong in method of treating these bends. Mostly they put polish, they put eggs and Colgates and all the other things which are very much dangerous when on that burn wound.
Yeah.
So we advise them to just use a water, a cold water, which they have to cool the burn. And of course, that person, they need to make sure that the person is removed from that area where the fire incident is up until, and we advise them to call us, emergency service, on that toll-free number, which is 10177.
Yeah.
Or 011375559 on our emergency call center.
Please repeat that information again, because not everyone has access to websites and online services.
Yes, the toll-free number is 10177. They can also get all of us on the cell phone, which is 112, and also our emergency call center in the city of Johannesburg is 011-375-5911.
Thank you so much for coming through. Robert Mulaudzi is from the Johannesburg
Emergency Management Services,
talking about conditions right now, all the cold weather and the resultant emergencies that have come out, and the shack fires that have taken place throughout the province just from last night.
Yes. So we're expecting a lot, since we're told that the cold front, we might still have it throughout the day. So that's the message to our residents out there, to be safe.
Always a pleasure to have you here, Robert.